bought a bookshelf. Why did I buy a bookshelf? Because I thrifted a lot of stuff, a lot of vintage stuff, for a reason, very important reason. I used to have a vintage booth and it just became a little bit more work than I wanted. But during that time, I became kind of obsessed with vintage and thrifting vintage. And even though I moved out of the store, I've still been collecting stuff and it's become kind of an issue. Hence, my storage unit is full. So I need to sell it, but it's kind of too much work for me to meet up with people from Facebook Marketplace for items that are like $50 or less. So my friend Melanie does vintage market and has made really good money doing it.
I made $7,000.
What?
Yeah.
So I have been inspired. I applied for fall vintage market days of Jacksonville and I've been accepted. So I already have a lot of furniture, but I need more smalls to sell with the furniture. So me and Mom went to the Waldo flea market this weekend and I'm going to show you everything I got. No peeking. I feel like my thrift hauls are usually more color coordinated than this one. The very first thing that I found when I walked into the flea market is my favorite find of the whole trip. And it's this little brass turtle. He's so cute. He's got like this pearl shell design and he's so adorable. I only paid $10 for him. So that was an easy buy. The next thing I found walking through the flea market was this little 3-tiered brass candelabra with a crystal dish. I thought this was so cute. Actually, my mom found it and all I can think about is how cute it would be with one of Salvage Bohemia's candles in it. So I might hold it for that, but I love it. I love brass and I love crystal, especially when you can put them together. I only ended up paying $5 for this. At that same ladies' flea market booth, I saw this picture in the back that is just absolutely gorgeous. It is so old, and what drew me into it was actually the colors. I really like that it's so antique and faded that it's almost like green. I love greens and browns and creams, and this little girl is just so cute. The lady didn't really want to sell this to me. I don't know if she had some sort of personal attachment to it, but like, why bring it to the flea market? I don't know. Anyways, I was like, how much for it? And she said, I don't know, make me an offer. And I hate that. I don't like doing the make me an offer thing. It makes me anxious. So I said, I'm gonna walk around, think about it, and I'll swing back by and let me know like how much you'll do for it. And she said, oh, I looked it up and it's antique and like it's got a really old frame, which I mean, it definitely is old, but does that make it valuable? I don't know. Anyways, she said, I'll take 20 to 50 for it. And I'm like, well, obviously I'm just gonna give you 20 then. But then the inner guilt was hitting me and I was like, okay, I'll give you 30. Cause I don't know, she probably would have taken 20, but I don't know. I paid 30 for her, and even if I don't sell it at the vintage market, this will be really pretty to stage my furniture with. This little vintage leather purse is so adorable. I also paid $10 for it, and I think it is so worth it. I just think at the vintage market, things like that are a quick impulse buy, like a purse or jewelry or jackets or flannels, those are things that sold really easily in my vintage booth. So I think it'll be something that's just kind of a really easy impulse buy that people don't have to think about, especially considering that my booth is going to be mostly furniture. But this little thing is just so beautiful. And I found these two little brass vases with the pretty etched details, and this was only $5 for the set. Like I said, I really like greens, wood tones, and like ivory colors. So I really like the green avocado glass. So whenever I find it, I try to pick it up. Bonus, Melanie said the egg trays sell really well. So this was only $5. I figured I could probably sell it for, I don't know, 15. I don't really know how to price stuff very well, honestly. It's gonna be a learning curve. Something I always like to thrift that they actually had a lot of at this flea market is jewelry. I'm not into buying jewelry off of like Amazon or anywhere like that because for one, it's usually cheap material and like you just overpay for it. I would rather buy from like a small business or secondhand, and I always find really good jewelry. So I found a pair of earrings and I bought 2 necklaces, and it's like $1 to $2 for each of these items. I've actually found like real solid gold earrings and just, yeah. Thrift it when you can. So these are actually for me. Okay, that's everything I found at the flea market. And then we went to a couple thrift stores as well while we were in Waldo. And I found these leather boots. They're real leather at a Goodwill. And they were $7.99. But for some reason, my boots sold really well in my vintage booth. And I think that these would be perfect for the fall market just because they're easy to slip on and try on, and you know, if the shoe fits. I just really like to look for quality materials, and I think they'll look cute staged. One other thing I want to probably thrift is like really quality flannels and stuff because I feel like that'll be a really easy impulse buy at the market. It's so funny, I'm thinking so many months in ahead when like my whole life is literally one day at a time. Key progress for me. And I found this at a thrift store as well. I have literally no purpose for buying this other than I liked the colors. It's cute, and I'm always into that kind of like tapestry looking fabrics. This might honestly be like a cute little bag for shopping at the flea market. And at the thrift store, I also found this lamp that I thought was cute because it already had the black shade that goes with it. There was a matching one I decided not to buy because the shade was like blue, and I just don't want to have to find a shade for it. Shades aren't that cheap, and I don't want to be selling lamps without shades unless it's like a really special lamp like made of, I don't know, alabaster or marble or something. So this one's really cute. I think it'll clean up. I'll probably polish the tarnish on it. And at that same thrift store, this stained glass lamp really caught my eye, again because the colors, and I just really love the way that the stained glass looks. But $45 was definitely out of my budget, but I noticed that it had been there since February, so I asked the lady up front if they would take less, and I think I paid $35 for it, which maybe is a little too much, but it's a good, I mean, it's a nice lamp. And I also found this little sneaky mirror at that thrift store, and I just really like the little wood carved details. It's just really cute. I could hang it above a dresser or something. I don't know, I think that this will sell pretty easily in the market, and for only $9.95, I'd say it's worth it. I'll probably just use some Howard's Restore finish and some feed and wax to clean it up. I found this bookshelf at a Goodwill for $30 with the intention to display my items on, but it will also have a for sale price on it. So this shelf actually is faux MDF with real wood veneer over it, and it's probably not vintage, but I think it has really good bones for holding my vintage stuff. It doesn't look so bad here on camera, however in person it's very orange and in my opinion outdated, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to do some sort of dark paint wash just to make it a little more my style. Because this piece is MDF, I'm going to be very careful not to saturate it when I'm cleaning. So I'm just going to spray onto the rag. Otherwise, you will make that particle board expand with water. Now in the past, I've used 1 part paint with 1 part top coat, and it creates sort of a toner to put over top of already sealed wood.
I normally go with jet black, but I didn't want this piece to be too dark, so I decided to try this dark horse color instead. If you go look a couple videos back, I go really in depth on this technique on a buffet.
This is actually looking even better than I anticipated. The way that this top coat mixed with paint works is it basically sits on top of it, so it doesn't matter that I have a mixture of wood veneer, solid wood, and actually fake laminate. It's all gonna tone it evenly regardless because it's sitting on top. Just because I know somebody's going to come in my comments and say you can't apply a paint without primer. First of all, this surface is super matte, so I'm not worried about it not sticking. This is an all-in-one paint. It has a built-in top coat and primer. And if you're really that concerned about it, you can use a clear bonding primer first, but I just don't think it's that necessary unless you have a super slick surface. Like if you're laminate, this is like beadboard material, so it's really rough, and if it was like super slick laminate, then yeah, I would probably go ahead and use the clear adhesion primer or clear bonding primer. It looks better, but I don't know if I love it. Let's see how it looks with the shelves. I feel like this might look good with another coat, but I think I'm just going to leave it as it is. So for the vintage market, I requested a 10-foot by 10-foot space, and I think I'm going to tape it off in the garage so I can visualize if that's going to be big enough. It still looks really orange. Should I just paint it? It would look so pretty just painted solid in dark horse. Okay, I'm gonna try one more coat on one panel and see if I can eliminate the orange tones to where I like it. If not, then I'm just gonna go ahead and paint it. But this time I think I'm gonna add a tiny bit of gray to my mixture and hope that that will help neutralize some of that warm orange. still not looking the way that I had envisioned in my mind, like this inspo pic. So I think I'm just gonna paint it, but it's really hot outside right now. So I'm gonna go to the gym and let it cool off out a little bit and come back and prep for a real paint job.
I decided to just come back and scuff sand everything with 220 grit sandpaper since I did have some brush strokes from doing that other finish.
Okay, so I technically don't need to stage this cabinet because it's going to be for the vintage market, but I already have the wall up and I think I want to get an Instagram reel out of this anyways, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of set up some decor items, and I think I'm going to tape off a 10 by 10 space so that I can visualize what my booth is going to look like at the market. I keep going back and forth between whether I want to do a 10 by 10 or a 10 by 20, and it's just such a big jump. I don't know, I want to see if I can visualize it. Because I want to make sure that I have a lot of smalls to sell at this vintage market, I'm going to be flipping a lot of shelves, cabinets, and smaller furniture items so that I can really diversify my inventory and make the most out of the space that I have, if that makes sense. So the market that I'm doing is the Vintage Market Days of Jacksonville, and it is going to be November 15th, 16th, and 17th at the Clay County Fairgrounds. So if you are in the area, I would love for you to come by and check out my vintage booth. It will be my first one ever, so go easy on me. I realize I'm planning a lot ahead of time because it's really gonna be a lot of work that goes into sourcing the inventory. And it's a 3-day event, so I wanna make sure that I can keep my space really full all 3 days of the event. And this is why I'm kind of going back and forth between the 10 by 10 space and the 10 by 20 space, because a 10 by 10 space I know I can fill easily. It's just a matter of what if I sell a bunch of big furniture items the first day and then the next 2 days I don't have enough inventory to really keep it full looking. But at the same time, on the other hand, I don't want it to be very crowded. I'll show you my storage unit, and there's a lot of stuff in there, but I know I won't be able to get through all of it by November. But ideally, I would like people to be able to walk freely and comfortably through my booth. But the 10 by 10 is $250, and the 10 by 20 is $500 space. At this point, I got approved for the 10 by 10. I don't even know if I could get a 10 by 20, but it's always worth asking. Kind of leaning towards the 10 by 10. This dark horse paint color looks beautiful. I'm actually really glad that I painted it. Let's wipe her down and put the shelves back in. All right, there's a hole in this cabinet, actually I gotta cover up. I really don't know how to stage shelves. I feel like shelves are the hardest thing to decorate. So I'm probably gonna watch some tutorials on that and just like how to arrange items. So the way that my mind is thinking about how to decorate these shelves is grabbing the big items first to fill up the space, and kind of evenly dispersing the color between like light and dark. I really like browns, brass, green, and like cream colors. So I'm gonna try to evenly disperse that, and then I will go in with like the smaller stuff and try to fill in the little gaps. It's looking a bit cluttery, so I'm open to all of your bookshelf decorating tips. I feel like I just kind of threw this together. I think I need to watch some tutorials on creating vignettes. Let's add some greenery. Another nice little thing is that the clips actually blend in a lot better with the piece. Before they were really noticeable. I think this is going to look so nice at the market. So a lot of the stuff that you see in my videos that I stage with and the next few months worth of furniture that I'm going to be refinishing will be at and for the market. So this will not be listed on Facebook Marketplace. I am going to be holding out for the vintage market, and hopefully I will be able to see a really nice reward for that. Wait, before you go, I forgot. We were going to try to visualize what 10 by 10 looks like so I can decide if I want to request a 10 by 20 or if I should just stick with the 10 by 10 space. So my vintage booth was about 10 by 12 or so, and I felt like I fit a lot of furniture in there, but I think that he gave me more space and really allowed me to push out, and I think that the vintage market is going to be a little bit more strict about staying in your space. This little chest is in the way, so we're just going to imagine so you can hopefully visualize. It'll be from here all the way over here to here. I feel like that's a pretty big space. Yeah, that's bigger than I realized. I feel like you could fit a lot of furniture in 10 by 10 actually. You just won't have a lot of room for walking around, and I need to be in the space taking payments as well. And I want to account for people like looking at the shelves. So basically what I can do is I can have a 10 by 10 space with just the front entrance open, or I can pay $50 extra to have a corner spot. So you have two open side walls, which would really help because then I could put the bookshelf facing out. Or would that be bad? Because people aren't going to steal anything. I don't think. But if I have kind of, you know, some bookshelves facing outwards, people can kind of shop it without being in the space. So I'm kind of getting more square footage. Or I can pay another extra $50 and have 3 open spaces, basically being an end cap. But the other options I have as far as the booth space is I want to hang artwork. So either I can set up a tent and kind of hang the artwork with like fishing line and have curtains surrounding it, or I can leave it open. or I can build walls. Like, I don't think actually this wall would be too hard to build. Again, having like 3 of the walls, or even just one wall where I can hang the artwork. I feel like it would look really elevated, and it's honestly not that expensive. I don't know. Comment and let me know, do you think I should do a 10 by 10 space or a 10 by 20 space? Give me all your tips for how I can lay it out and how I can create nice vignettes. I am open to all the tips, and I'm really excited for the next couple months and prepping for this market. My next video is going to actually be cleaning these Art Deco upholstered chairs that I found on Facebook Marketplace for only $50 each. They're stunning. And in that next video, I will also give you a tour of my storage unit. There's a lot of crap in there, and I need to just go through and organize and prioritize my projects and see which ones I want to bring to the market. Because there's some goodies in there, but there's also some junk in there too. Thanks for listening to me ramble.